This is Jonathan Sanchez here in Sacramento, California. I'm transmitting here in the United States. It's 1:57 p.m. Tuesday, July 2nd. Now that we're coming closer to another celebration of the Independence Day, knowing that the cruel irony that my birthday would falls on the United States Independence Day. Not only because we knew the situation that has been going on and ongoing, not only because of the obstruction of power, but because the circumstances that we've seen, not only because the humanitarian acts have been violated, not only because the situation that we've been seeing in an act of organized crime, terrorism, and other unruly behavior in which the hostage and kidnapping that happened on April 14th, 2023, not only because we renewed the DA, the FBI, the county, and the fact that the situation that it's been due to the terroristical affairs, not only because they try to make me a son of El Chapo Guzman, not only because they try to accuse me without having evidentiary support of espionage from Mexico by the FBI and the federal government, and the fact that the situation that the county contradicted themselves with trying to make accusations of terrorism in contradictions to retardation, Peter Pan syndrome, schizophrenia, paranoia, delirium, all this confession that was made public due to the fact that the Federal Supreme Court knew very well that all statute of limitation had surpassed the limit of acceptable measures. Not only because we knew that everything that was going on because of the presidential elections, and because we already knew that everything that was criminally done, because everything that had happened was an act of crime, an act against humanity. Not only because the situation that we already knew that not only the election fraud that has been committed here in the United States, and you're talking about 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and ongoing and repercussions to a situation, not only because the unrepairable damages that have been done by the federal government, but because we already knew that district attorneys and the county were involved in terroristical affairs, not only because everything that was done because they were stealing identities. A crime against humanity is unacceptable, and the situations are already new because they tried to are guilty of multiple accounts of attempted murder, not only because they were bragging how they got money, federal money, obtained illegally, not only because the cruel irony of having my birthday on Independence Day, not only because the situation that goes into a dictatorship, and not only because the situation that Obama, Biden, Kamala Harris, and the situation that we knew, not only in the oath violation, but because the situation itself. And now, because the situation that we renew that Nobel Peace Prize was outorgated in 2020, and Biden stepped into a situation which Ukraine was pushed and pushed Russia into paying them under the table for silence. And you talk about trillions of dollars being overspent. I do thank all the people, I do thank all the high public officials, I do thank all the monarchs, as Biden insulted the monarchies, insulted the people, they used the people, and the fact that the situation that you're talking about, not only because in a global standpoint where you try to manipulate the people to create a situation Now, in a situation that the entire insult, the global insult, not only because you laughed at the Vatican, not only because you made fun of the Pope, not only because you lied to the Pope, and on top of everything, that the Nobel Peace Prize that was supposedly outorgated to a Mexican, to a Latino, to a person who was actually trying to create change and push a war with Russia and Ukraine or to pay them out of the table. The instigation with Israel and Hamas, and the fact that the situation that we go into, that lack of negotiations within the right circumstances. Furthermore, you are talking about a situation that goes against their own regulations, their own constitution, and an oath violation by a president with the obligation, which we see Richard Nixon and the whole situation. And now that we've seen that the county and the DEA and the federal sectors that behave terroristically by orders of a president, and the fact that instead of shutdowns, the fundings, Congress has not done its job accordingly to the needs. Legislature, the Senate, and the fact that the Federal Supreme Court of the United States knew very well the situation that was completely mishandled from the get-go. Not only because my dad, who thinks he's the president of Mexico, who believes he's the spokesperson of the people, and he believes he speaks for Elon Musk, now a situation that have been incriminated due to the fact of lack of understanding of law and basic law. Now you're coming to a situation that we were trying to look for peace negotiations in which a president of the United States knew very well that the entire situation was completely manipulated. Now that the governor and his entire party, the one party system, not only because of the actual espionage by the DEA, not only because they are in trouble due to the fact that they were manipulating documents, forging documents, using the sector as a terroristical and organized crime organization, not only because the county are guilty of genocide, not only because of a situation that goes beyond acceptable measures, and we see a reoccurring problem. The expectation of an obligations of a situation that we already knew, and not only because misinformation was given and publicly announced, but because of the situation that we knew that the terrorist affairs that has happened here in the United States and in California, the historical content, not only because Kamala Harris, a vice president, a president, a former president, were involved in a situation that we knew because not only the oath violation but the obstruction of power, in which the DEA now is under terrorist affairs and organization, and for the fact of the situation that we're trying to steal identities and creating an instability here in the United States.